dear participants, in this session also we will discuss some of the metrics which may be useful for a manager to make a decision at a workplace, right. So, in first 3 sessions also we discuss some of the metrics that also will be useful for a manager. So, in this session also we will discuss some metrics which will be useful for a manager to make a decision at a workplace. So, this is the content. Outcome of the training, what is the outcome of a training. So, in some of the metrics that we have already discussed, but skill wise we will discuss in this session, and some more metrics that may be value, that may show the value of the training, that is what we will discuss. And third aspect, that is what we will discuss in this session, that is the evaluation of a training, how the training should be evaluated, on which metrics that should be used to evaluate the training, that is what we will discuss. So, let us start with the outcome of training. So, first I suggest to the all HR managers to identify the number of trainings which are conducted department wise, right, and job category wise. If you are having that number, that will help you to understand what kind of skills that you have given to these departments in one particular year. So, you can divide these two trainings into the two category, functional and behavior, right. So, how many functional trainings are given and how many behavioral trainings are given. So, accordingly the outcomes that we had discussed in the previous, but in this also we will discuss skill wise outcome. So, when you are conducting this training, one important thing that you need to focus on, that is the employee focus time. So, right. So, if you remember the first session of the recruitment analytics, in that we discussed the employee per hour learning, right, per hour learning. So, per employee how many hour one employee is learning, right. So, focus time, how much time that person is needed to do the current job which is at his hand, that is the there, right. So, if number of hours are high, then it may impact the focus time. So, we have to give only those number of training to the employees, so that their focus time is not impacted. Another thing that you can check, I have already discussed how to identify, how to take a decision which new training that has to be introduced in the organization, which one has to be stopped, or so that number of training, how many number of training that has been started, new training has started, and how many are stopped. So, that is what also you can make a list, how many are there. So, total number of training functional wise, in the same way how many are stopped and how many new are started, functional and behavioral. So, that is what you can decide. Next matrix that I was talking about, if you have to identify whether this training was useful or not. So, what you can do, first thing that you can, the learning outcome. So, each training program which is being given to these employees, right, though each training program is having certain aim to give a certain type of skill. So, what is the aim? Whether aim is to give the motor skills, aim is to change the attitude, aim is to develop the cognitive strategies in the participants, aim is to develop the intellectual skills, or aim is to develop the verbal information. So, what is the aim of the training? So, as per the aim, you can write the number of training which are given to the employees, right. So, that is how you will understand your employees are having which type of skills, right, because each training program is designed to impart certain types of skill and certain level of skills in the participants. So, here you can identify for which training employee has been trained. So, you can identify, you can divide, and then you can do the analysis. In future, if the demand for the new skills is there, then according to the skills you have to add the new training program for your employees. So, one of the thing that you can see here, that impact that you can see, the which type of skills that employees are having, and because of that skills how it is impacting the business outcome inside in the organization, right. Next one that you can see, because of the training how the performance improvement is there. So, I always say, like in term of the percentage of goal achievement. So, before training what was the level of percentage of goal achievement, like So, it was 80% before training, for example, if it is going to 90%, how to calculate the percentage of goal achievement, that is what we will discuss in the performance analytics, right. So, as of now, just you understand whatever goals are there, right. So, to what extent employees are able to achieve their goal currently in the organization. So, if they are able to achieve the goal 80% after the particular training, if they are able to achieve the 90%, then you can say yes, employee, this training has the positive impact. If it remains 80 to 80%, it means the training has not made an impact. Next metrics that you can count in order to understand the outcome, the total number of complaints that your organization was receiving from the customer. If number of customer complaint has reduced and appreciation has increased, then you can say the training has made an impact. If turnover has reduced, right, turnover, employees who were working in your organization, they started working for a more period of time after this training, then you can say yes, it has made. Next one that you can see, the employee engagement. So, you can develop the index for this, right. Certain statements are there, or those statements you can rate on certain level, certain scale 1 to 7, and then you can average it, and then you can check what is the engagement level before the training and after the training. So, if that engagement level is increasing in department wise, year wise and gender wise, then you can say yes, training has made an impact. And then last parameter that you can see, last metric, that employee reaction. So, reaction like trainee satisfaction. So, whether employees are satisfied with the training or not. So, satisfaction level with the training, that is what you can see. If employees are highly satisfied, then you can say yes, training was good. If not satisfied, then you can say that the training was not good. Then you can identify the reason. So, how to develop this employee reaction index, that is what we will learn in the next slide. Next to next slide, that is what we will learn, right. So, here we will go to the next thing that we need to, after the training, we need to record certain things also in order to understand the impact. So, what that we can, so 3% of that I suggest that we should record related to the employees. So, first percentage, so percentage of employees promoted after the training within 1 year, right. So, after the training, if employees are promoted, it may be possible that person's skill got, that person got the high level of skills or trained well, able to achieve the goals well, so that that person got the promotion, performed well, and because of the performance that person got promoted one from his current position to the next level position. That is what you can see. And next thing that you can see, percentage of employee whose performance rating has improved, right. If your performance rating has improved, that also indicate your performance has improved, your training has worked, you have learned in the training. So, that is what you can see. Third thing that you can see, key employees who left the organization after the training, right, because this is the thing that you have to manage within the organization. So, after training, certain type of training, if people are leaving the job, they are going for better opportunities, nothing wrong into it, but for your organization it is a loss because you have invested lot of amount. So, you need to think how you can manage. So, then what you should do, so you can plan their career well, or you can give some career plan after that particular training, so that people will stay to your organization and will not go to the another organization. So, that is that these are the 3% that you can manage after the training, whoever has received the training, and out of those people you can make this percentage, like how many percentage of people promoted, how many have improved their performance rating, and how many people have left the organization and doing well in some other organization, or got the better position than the current one in another organization. So, these also shows the impact of the training. So, outcome of these are the outcome of the training. If performance rating remains the same after the training, if people are not promoted to the next level and people are not, have not left the job doing the same job with the same salary, same thing, then you may say that yes, that training was not very much effective, right. So, these are the percentage also that you can calculate, and you can keep this data and compare in order to understand the outcome of training related to the employees within the organization. Now, next the important thing comes, how to evaluate the training, right. So, mostly that you will see trainings are evaluated on the basis of 4 parameter. So, one is the business result, right, as we already discussed in the first session of the training analytics. Training focus on the immediate requirement of the employee, right, immediate requirement of the business, right. So, if particular training is given, right, so in the next 6 months or next 1 year, you will see the improvement in the business. If business means, like for one particular project, employees are employees are trained whether that project was completed on time or not. If it is not completed on a time, then you may say that that person did not get the sufficient level of skill after the training also, right, and any project could not be completed, customer satisfaction is not improved, process is not improved, cost is not reduced, right. So, these on the basis of this business results, the effectiveness of training is measured, right. Next criteria is the behavior, whether the behavior, employees behavior has changed or not. I will take an example and then in detail I will explain which type of behavior, how we will understand that behavior has changed or not, right. But second parameter to evaluate the training program is the behavior. Third parameter is the learning, whether somebody has learned particular skill or not, right. So, on that particular basis we evaluate the training program. And fourth one is the employee reaction. Employee reaction, that I already said, employee satisfaction for that particular training program. So, how to calculate it, how to do that, that is what we will discuss in next slide. But as of now you understand these are the 4 ways to evaluate the training outcomes, right. Which one is the most frequently used? If you will see in the organization, employee reaction is number one method to evaluate the effectiveness of the training. If participants are not satisfied with the training, then it is considered as the useless training program. If participants are satisfied, they understand, yes, right, they are satisfied and they have learned something from the training program, then you can say that it was a successful training program, right. And then you can see this business results, behavior and learning, they are also used. So, you will see all 4, on the basis of these all 4 things you can develop the matrix. So, here you can write the on a 1 to 5 scale, what is the satisfaction level, whether it is 4, whether it is 3 or 2.5, what is the satisfaction level of the employees, right. Learning, so here you can write specific skills that employee have learned and their level, high, average or low, what is the level of understanding. Here behavior, particular behavior that you can write, like decision making, right, decision making skill that they have learned. So, that you can write here, this decision making skill is right. And business result, that I already said, you can write here, ROI has improved, sales has increased, project is completed on time. So, such kind of business results, that is what you can write in this category, and then you can compare whether the training is effective or not. All 4 things are giving the positive results or not. So, these are the 4 parameter on which one training can be evaluated. So, related to this you can collect the data. So, let us discuss the most popular data way to evaluate the training, that is the employee reaction. So, employee reaction scale is there, right. So, how many items are there or how many statements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So, overall 16 statements are there. So, what you can do, again I said, right, here you can rate on a 1 to 7 scale, that is what you can rate, then you can average it for the entire scale. as well as one more thing that you can do it, right, you can do the average for each item also. You can calculate the mean value for the each item also, right. So, what how this value will help if you have calculated the mean value how you can calculate. Let us assume that 5 people have given the different rating for statement number 3. The course met all of the stated objectives. So, like 3, 3, 3, 3 and then divided by 5. So, then 15 divided by 5. So, 3 is the average, that is what you will get. So, average you will get. So, this if this, so based on this average, so for some of the items you will find, you will get a high average, right, and some of the items you will get a low below the average, right, and then you can understand in which statement, in which area that problem was there. So, here these all 16 items covers the all aspect of the training, right from the designing to instructor to the environment, managerial support, peer support and individual factors. So, all these 16 items are related to that, right. So, the moment you will see the value of mean value of the each statement, that may indicate you that if it is higher value, mean value is there, then you can say that participants are more satisfied with that particular aspect. If lower value is there, then you may say that participants are dissatisfied to some extent, right. So, in those areas you need to work, or your organization need to work in order to improve the participant satisfaction, right, towards the training. So, that is how you can check the employee reaction, you can measure, and based on this you can make a decision how to improve the training program effectiveness. So, this is one of the method that I said. So, employee reaction, that is what you can check by using this. Next one that I was talking about, learning, right, how you will ensure that employee have learned. So, for that you need to frame such kind of questions, right, after the training, and then you have to ask, so if I were setting up a new process in my office, would I do it on my own without asking for help, ask my boss for suggestion, ask the people who worked for me for suggestion, discuss it with friends outside the company, right. So, the moment you click on this first one, it indicates that you have understood how to implement this particular process in the organization, right. If you are clicking on the second one, then what it indicates that you are still dependent on someone. If you take on third one also, then also it indicates that your dependency is there. In fourth one also the same. So, when you are dependent on someone, it means your self efficacy has not improved, for doing that particular job, right. So, that is how you can ensure whether that person has learned that particular skill or not, for which this training was designed. If that person has not learned, then effectiveness of that training program is poor. If that person has learned, it's confident, is ticking on first one, then you can say that a transfer of training was very high and the training was effective, right. So, that is how that learning aspect that I was talking about, on the basis of, so whatever a process, whatever objective, whatever skill that training program wanted to make the participants learn, you can make a list and then you can give a situation related to that, and let us see what participant make a decision in order to check. So, if most of the participants are making the decision, they can do it by themselves without taking the help. So, it shows that they are confident in order to do that particular job. It indicates that, it reflects that yes, that participant has learned that particular skill. So, that is how you can use learning to assess, learning aspect to assess the training effectiveness, right. So, next one that you can see, the behavioral and skill based outcome. So, as I was talking about specific behavior, right. So you can write a specific behavior like decisiveness. So whether ability to recognize when a decision is required and act quickly. So this is the meaning of decisiveness. So in this case, you can ask to the participant whenever, so are you able to recognize when decision is required and act quickly. So such kind of skills that you can say always, usually, sometimes, seldom and never. So if participants are clicking on sometimes, seldom and never, it indicates that if most of the participants are responding this, then it indicates that the outcome of training is poor. If most of the participants are clicking on always and usually, then you can say that outcome of that training is good, right, because employees are able to take decision, their ability to take decision has improved, and that was one of the key objective of a training to conduct, right. So if the decisiveness has increased, it means your training was effective. If it has not increased, it means training was not effective, right. So that is how you can conduct this kind of survey among all participants, and then you can calculate the average, you can calculate the number, and then you can compare department wise, you can compare age wise, right, in which case it is effective, in which case it is not effective, right. That is what you can do it, right. So that is what, so here what kind of decision that you can do, I already said, like age wise, department wise, right, and job category wise, right, that you can do, right, as well as training types, training types, right, for online training, offline training, right, technology based training, what are the outcomes, and then next a category in which you can analyze training types, age wise, department wise, job category, and then you can analyze on the basis of this online and offline also, right. When this training was conducted offline, so what was the result, right, when this training was conducted offline, then what was the result. So various categories based on your organization need, you can divide and you can analyze this data, and then you can check or you can assess the effectiveness of your training program, right. So I hope you would have understood the 4 parameter to evaluate the training program, right. So first one is the business outcome, learning, behavior and employee reaction. So in organization, employee reaction is most frequently used method to evaluate the effectiveness. In addition to that, you can calculate the ROI also, return on investment. So a training was conducted for a specific skill. So after that, how much profit that organization has earned from that particular skills from the employees while working on that project or any, but in a department in that sales that has increased, right. So somehow, so that is how you can calculate in term of the ROI also, whether the training was effective or not. So I hope you would have learned how to use the develop the matrix in order to measure the training effectiveness. So thank you.